Welcome to another Pregaming. It's a Saturday special. Kevin is somewhere lost in a hotel drinking V8.
That is, it's actually a Bloody Mary, a $35 Bloody Mary. That's right, Vegas is back, baby. Whoever told you Vegas was dead has not paid $35 for a Bloody Mary. In fact, I'm very hydrated today in the desert. I got the coffee here, I got the Bloody here, I got the energy shot here just to give me a little juice to get up today because I'm recovering still. And of course, as always, Half Red Cup will travel. Cuppers and Cappers, here we go together again to talk about Wild Card Weekend. Serena going with the off-the-shoulder look today. I like it. Yeah. You are bringing the thunder
felt like I should
for this
be
Wild
in
Card
Vegas
weekend.
With you, but in my house.
Yeah, no.
You know,
well, you should be holding your shoes then and limping around at 3 a.m. if you want to be the full Vegas experience right there.
Well, you just don't wear shoes. You just wear a nice outfit in my house. I'll talk to my dog during the games.
As you know, our friends, the Cappers, will be joining us in a few moments. Kenny Betts Big, Danny Brasco will break down the games, the lines, the props, and everything else you could look forward to for this Wild Card weekend. And I've got the updated stuff. This is hot off the sports book. You know, they still go old school. They still print them out on these sheets of paper. I like old school. I like feeling it because this paper, hopefully, if played right, turns in to this paper a little bit later today. And that is what it's all about. We're making paper. We're killing trees here. That's what the game day pre-gaming is all about today. And we've got lots to get to. Plus, we'll be checking in with our friend who's currently in Cincinnati, and she's seeing what the vibe is there. I got confused because my dyslexia, and I came to Vegas for the game, but apparently it's in Cincy. So we'll check in what's going on at the tailgate there. I was told we have an exclusive with Joe Burrow's mother. So that is something that we can look forward to a little bit later in the show today.
We do, and I'm so glad. Shout out to all the environmentalists watching as we destroy more paper. For all of you joining us right now, we want you to win some paper. Also, a brand new TV. So go to thegameday.com/giveaway/Super Bowl to sign up to win a 65-inch 4K smart TV. That might be handy for a big game this February. Some other prizes include a $200 gift card to the NFL shop.com. You can also win $100 cash, some exclusive game day swag. So sign up right there. There's the link. Check it out, Kevin. You're already going there. You've left the show.
We don't sell out around here. We don't just work in seamless endorsements and promotions during the show. It's all about making you money as we break down the games of today and, of course, tomorrow. And then we'll even talk about Monday night's Rams zone game. But yes, might as well get yourself a free TV just for hanging out with us and invite some people. Plus, comments, questions below. We will answer them. So if you have specific bets you want to take, but you haven't put it in yet, hit us up in the comments below, and I'll answer the first question right now. Is that guy drunk? Yes. Yes, perhaps I still am. Yes.
All right, Kevin, let's get to our 2-minute drill, shall we?
Let's do it. Here we go.
Go ahead,
2-minute drill. Well, look, I wanted to talk about this concept of home field disadvantage, which is interesting because the teams that are battling it out today, there's always the home field advantage that gets talked about. And I actually believe, and I was an article that came out earlier this week in the Washington Post as well that confirmed my theory, home field advantage is not what it once was. You know, books used to factor in 3 points for home field advantage. So when you look at these lines, and a lot of them are right around 3 this week, you go, oh, that's just because they're the home team. But over the course of the season, as they looked at all the lines, they found out that home field advantage was only worth about 1.7 points, almost half of what we originally thought it was worth. And then there are certain teams that actually play better on the road. Think about Arizona. Arizona against the Rams, winning in Los Angeles, losing in Arizona. Consistently, there are teams that just do better on the road. And then you've got the quote that came out earlier from the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And he said, bottom line is, winning on the road is way easier now than it was 10, 15 years ago. Even the fans in the stands are less invested in the game because everyone is doing this while watching the game. They're watching, and yes, they're a fan of the team, but they are distracted because of other plays. They're following Serena on Instagram, understandably. They're writing death threats to Kenny Betts Big. So as a result, home field advantage is not what it once was. So remember that going in. Home field sometimes is the home field disadvantage, and we'll talk about how the weather plays a role in that as it pertains to the Vegas-Cincinnati game, which is going to be kicking off in about an hour. So we'll talk about that coming up. Serena, what do you got?
Well, Kevin, I realize that you're in Vegas and you thought this was a home game and you think Vegas is a lock today, but I have a reason to believe otherwise. It's not a new thing, but Joe Burrow does look like Macaulay Culkin, right? I hope they pull up this picture. And they were like, oh, yeah, here's the matchup for today. And I mean, look, I get it. Like, look at so now look at that. Ed Orgeron looks way more like Joe Pesci than I would say.
Yeah.
You know, Derek Carr looks like Daniel Stern. So to me, just overall, we know the outcome. Ed Orgeron was fired as the LSU head coach. And what was the outcome of Home Alone? Kevin wins. So Kevin McAllister, aka Joe Burrow, Harry and Marv,
alert.
they
What
robbed
the hell?
too many people, especially Marv. They're stealing 2 games. They shouldn't even get here. You're in Vegas. You don't even know where the game is played.
Nope. But you know what? Plenty of gambling to be done. That's your 2 minutes. We got you through, and that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. No? Is that not how it works? Do we have more show to do?
All right, rapid fire
continue
quickly. If for by chance Rich Bisaccia defeats all odds, should they even look for another head coach for the Raiders, Kevin?
Well, listen, what we've learned this past few weeks, and it's funny because some of the coaches survived Black Monday, but then got the axe on Tuesday. It became Black Tuesday, Black Thursday, Black Wednesday. Not a good week for Giants head coaches. And then even like everyone was so shocked about what happened in Miami, and there's already talk about how he's going to be the new head coach of the Giants, and there's all these rumors and speculation. What do you have to do to prove yourself as the coach? If the Raiders, even to get to where they're at now, considering the season they had, the turbulent up, the down, the distractions, already impressive. If they win today's game, I would say that head coaching job is secured for him for at least another year. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Right? You would think. Also, I love that mustache. How many Bills and Patriots players, with that recent article that came out that says Josh Allen should take Viagra to stay warm? Oh, look, we have a picture of the pill right there. Thank you very much. How many Bills and Patriots players will take Viagra today before the game, Kev?
That's a hard question.
No, you don't get a ding for that.
Yeah, there it is. Time release, just like the
Delayed.
Viagra. You got to wait. It's not instant gratification. I think that is a media story that has been exploited. That is a story that has been, I don't know, some would say pumped up by the media, because the concept, for those of you that are not familiar, right, is that it's going to get the blood flowing through the body better in the cold weather. I've taken Viagra in warm weather and in cold weather, and I'll tell you, it has similar effects in both. I would not want to be at the bottom of a fumble pile in today's game because of what is being discussed right now. But then again, this is media hype. We'll break it down even further when I get you to our exclusive prop, because I think that this is going to be the beginning of more players endorsing more pills. And without giving too much away, I think we're all waiting for the Bill Belichick Prozac combo, right? Who's waiting for that one, right? Huh?
Kevin, really wild question. What happens to Jake from State Farm if the Packers and the Chiefs both go to the Super Bowl? Like, who does he cheer for? Where does he sit?
Now, that's a great problem that State Farm would love to have. And I think that we all know that Jake is a fan only of arena football. He doesn't even like the NFL. He's phoning it in for the commercials. The guy's just in it for the paycheck. For all we know, he's a fan of Flo, that insurance girl. He doesn't even have State Farm. So, I mean, I think his relationship goes back further with Aaron Rodgers. I believe when I think of that, I think of their relationship mostly with Aaron Rodgers. But
yeah,
you know.
It's easy to assume Joe Judge eats his pizza with a fork and knife. He was fired as the head coach of the Giants. Took a couple days to do it, but they did it. Either way, what kind of pizza topping? This was I went classy, looked up a TMZ article, and apparently Joe Judge ordered all of these pizza and beer a day after he was let go, the week of. What kind of what pizza toppings? Is that all just classic cheese? Is he eating that by himself?
Listen, it's funny. You fell for the story. That was all of his stuff from his office. He just hid it in pizza boxes and beer, so they wouldn't get that shot of him carrying his cardboard box home after being fired, which is sad. I believe that is his personal stuff. There is no pizza there. That guy, not a good.
That was his laptop.
Yeah, that was his laptop. That's right. His Microsoft Surface tablet, cleaned out.
It's just a pizza box. Kevin, last question. Eric Weddle is coming out of retirement to play with the Rams. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's a great story. Look, I mean, this has like all the makings of the next big Disney movie, right? Guys retired, sitting back there, handing out smiley face stickers at Walmart, and they're like, "We need you back on the team." And the guy's like, "But I'm out of shape." And they're like, "Come on, let's go. Put down the Hot Pocket, get on the field." It's a beautiful story. We're talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. You know, Kenny breaks this down even more, but the NFL, which he believes is highly scripted, definitely in some of the off the field things like this that happen, it's about storylines, right? It gets people involved in the action. And so I think it's a cool thing. We'll see what happens on the field. If in the first play he breaks a hip, we'll realize it was a bad call.
Great. That's it for our 2-minute drill. Kevin, you took the entire 2 minutes, I got to tell you, but we'll work on that. It's only, week 19 now. We're in wildcard weekend. But anyway, thank you all for joining us for another Pregaming. Send us your questions for this weekend's slate of games. We're going to get to those in a bit. Also, head over to thegameday.com and get the latest gambling analysis and sports book specials. There is a link for you to get a chance to win a large television, a smart one too, unlike Kevin. And you can use that for Super Bowl. You can also win some cash prizes. It's all very exciting. You can win money like that. Go ahead, Kevin. How'd you win that money? You're in Vegas.
There's this game called the ATM here, and it is fucking on fire right now. On fire.
Jesus. Great. All right, let's do our power hour. We're going to go through all 6 games for this weekend, including Monday. Monday's a weekend now. So let's bring in our cappers. Father of Thor, Kenny Bets Big, Danny Brasco, a.k.a. Brasco Bets, for our power hour. Kenny is fresh off of a nice shave, but also fresh off of Instagram, who is battling it out on his stories. And maybe you could use some of Danny's boxing gloves behind you. Maybe that would just make more sense.
Yeah, I would love that if we could throw on the boxing gloves. And Kevin, what's going on? Is the CVV code rubbing off on the back of your card from putting in the ATM so much?
Yeah, there's no more. They've actually taken the card. The card has been confiscated at this point. But let me just say, in case you're wondering if the ATM fees have dropped in Vegas over the past few years, they have not. They are charging more than ever before. I've actually taken out less money than the fee was at one point, just to give you an idea how my trip's going.
Sounds like me at the strip club.
Hey-o.
Scrounging for the last penny.
Oh my God. Before we get to these games, I would like to throw to this clip of our girl Yaz in Cincy. She is tailgating before the first game of the day, and apparently she bumped into none other than Joe Burrow's parents, and they lit her cigar, and they look lit themselves. So, Kevin, this is going against everything you believe about Vegas getting this upset.
Well, listen, I don't know if Vegas is going to win the game. I've got my own theories as to why I think Vegas could cover, although the spread's been moving, unfortunately. I liked it at 6.5. I said buy it maybe to 7.5 just to be safe. It's now all the way down to, I've seen it as low as 5, so it's moving. But I didn't realize Joe Burrow's mother was out there lighting people's cigars. That would have been a great prop bet. I would have never won that money. Starting quarterback's mother be lighting cigars at people in the parking lot. Never saw that happening. The celebrations have already begun. Look, you think about a team that has not been in the playoffs since I think Serena was born. So go ahead and do the math on that one. I mean, that's pretty impressive right there. And there's a lot of excitement going on. But here I am in Vegas, and I'll tell you, equally excited over here. These Vegas fans they're ready for this game to happen. And I know we're going to get into it, and I can't wait to hear what Kenny has to say, Danny has to say. I've got a weather play about this game, which we'll break down in a bit, but I've been filibustering too much because I'm drunk. So let's go ahead and let one of you guys take over for a little bit.
Yeah, Kenny, why don't you start and let him drink his empty V8 bottle there. We do have Raiders at Bengals. I believe it's at -5 right now for the Bengals, and Joe Burrow's mom is obviously ready to play in this game. Kenny, how do you see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all those guys like Joe Mixon play in this game?
So first, I just want to start off and say, Danny, man, we all told you so, right? That the Raiders were going to win last week. and ultimately get into the playoffs. And here we are. Listen, Kevin talked about how he liked this line when it was at 6.5. Now it's at 5.5, 6, depending where you look. And it's weird that the line is actually dropping because anywhere you look, all the action, money, tickets, they're all on the Bengals. And no surprise, last time these two teams met, the Bengals just put a beat down on the Raiders team. So this is a tough game, honestly, to handicap. I see this game going where the Raiders either keep it close and Joe Burrow wins by like a field goal as the game winds down, or the Raiders get a backdoor cover. I think the Raiders getting the points here is definitely the better bet.
Yeah. Danny, you and your against the Vegas Raiders now.
I totally agree with Kenny. It is a tough game to handicap. And look, I also have to give you guys your flowers for last Sunday. Right, I was on the Chargers, and Kenny made a convincing argument that the NFL is scripted. It's a storyline. We're watching a drama, basically, and Vegas is the Raiders are Vegas's home team. They want them in the playoffs, and the way that game played out, I mean, literally, weirder stuff has never happened. So I'm fully convinced now. And now for my transgressions, I'll be eating this hot chip later on while you guys ask questions. I'll be entering a volcano inside my mouth. And Kenny and Sam are giving me tips already.
Blessings,
so
blessings.
I'm worried about that. In terms of this game, though, I actually like the over. I'm going to tell you guys why unders do look good in wild card rounds. I know, right? A lot of data that says unders look good, but I do like the over in this one. Earlier in the season, I hit a Bengals over, and I told you guys kind of my statement on that game was they either put up a big number or give up a big number. And that's absolutely the case at home. They're 6-3 to the over at home, and they either drop 40 pieces or give up 40 pieces. So I think that Burrow will have success in his first in his playoff debut. He's not like the other guys. He's coming in with swagger. And Waller is back for the Raiders. They look a little bit more in rhythm on offense. So I think we'll see points from both teams. The most comfortable bet for me in this game is the over.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Kevin, talk some sense into this man.
Week 1 of the NFL, if you remember, on this very show, I had the eye of the tiger. You guys were all bagging on the Bengals, and I said the Bengals are going to put themselves a decent season together, as we've all witnessed them do, and it's been impressive. I hate to have to go against them because I've actually made more money on the Bengals this year than I've lost. But as I break down this game, and I do also, like Kenny said, think that with that many points and anything over 3.5 for the most part, I feel like you need to feel strong about that because I do think this could be a field goal game at the end and you'll feel good you've got the points in your pocket. Interesting stats, so I'll read this to you so I don't mess it up. This is Derek Carr for his career. When the temperature at kickoff is 37 degrees or less, he is 0-5. He does not play well in cold weather games. The weather at kickoff today, the high in Cincinnati today is supposed to be 27 degrees. So he is cold. There's been no talk about him taking Viagra to stay warm. Also, he has not put up more than 17 points in games where the weather is this cold. And he's only had one game where his passer rating was even north of 78. So historically, if you look at Carr in cold weather games, he does not perform well. That does give me a little cause for concern. If you want to look back, though, and I think that both these teams are slightly different than the last time they played against each other. You talk about how, yes, the final score did look like the Bengals got, a nice whooping on the Raiders. But the reality is this. Burrow didn't really have a great game that day either. He actually did not throw. I think he threw one touchdown. His passer rating was not very high. He only threw for 100 and something yards that day. There was, their ground game was working. So, sometimes people just look at scores and go, well, what happened the last time they met? And I believe that's why when you say a lot of the money is on the Bengals, they go, all right, well, let's go ahead and look back to earlier in the season. Oh, wow, the Bengals put up a lot more points than the Raiders. They'll do that again. I'm just saying, if you looked at how that game ended last week against the Chargers, it was like Kenny had said on this show. No matter what was going to happen, the Raiders were going to win that game. The further the Raiders go into the playoffs, it's a better thing for the NFL. It's much more money for the NFL. It's much more money for all the big books and probably for this corporation as well. And obviously, we're a high-run organization right here, as you can tell. So I like
I'd like to just give you guys some thought. There's a recent trend that I wanted us all to be mindful of this week. Young quarterbacks playing in their first playoff game have typically struggled and underperformed, relative to their regular season performance. I'll give you some examples. Deshaun Watson lost 21-7 to the Colts in his first playoff game at home. Dak Prescott lost to the Packers at home in his first playoff game. Lamar Jackson lost at home to the Chargers 23-17, struggled the first 3 quarters. Even Patrick Mahomes in his first playoff game wasn't the real Patrick Mahomes, no touchdowns, but no picks. And now you have in this weekend slate of games, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Derek Carr. While he's not a young buck, he's never actually played in a playoff either. So I'm looking for, if you're going to bet on this game, maybe look for some unders in the first half of the game. I think it's going to be a very slow start, which is why I actually think take the under. The nerves are going to get the best of this young Bengals team, and Derek Carr is going to be freezing cold. So I actually, and maybe I'll change Danny's mind at some point, but I think the under is actually a safer bet. Joe Mixon's going to run the ball, and because it's so freezing outside, and the Raiders defense is going to be like, what happened here?
I think you make a lot of really good points. And aside from this game that I see as the outlier, I do believe it's a good weekend to bet unders, and I could very well be wrong. I like a lot of the points you made. I see this one as the outlier, but to a lot of points you made about rookie QBs, cold weather, I'm going to talk about some unders later on. So good angles for sure.
On a prop in the prop world, quickly in this one, just one prop, Kenny. One prop that I want to get your thoughts on is that Raiders first to score. I actually like the Raiders to come out hot. I told you to take this prop last week against the Chargers, and it paid out. I like the Raiders. They put up points usually quicker than the teams they play. They're up plus on the year for doing that. So I saw that as a plus 105 bet again. Raiders to score first, and because of the cold weather, I like the under in the 3.5 field goals in this game total. Hard balls, frozen balls, harder to kick. I think there's going to be so I like the under in 3.5 field goals for this one. And I know that some questions are coming through about props. So continue with the questions below. We'll break down all the games today. Sorry, Kenny, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say, the more we talk about this game, the more and more I start to like the Raiders. You know, thinking about Joe Burrow, how they ended the season, Joe Burrow is the hottest player in the NFL, right? Back-to-back games, the guy puts up, video game numbers. And it's just kind of surprising that they're only 5.5-point favorites here. It is tough backing the Raiders because the Raiders can either come out and play a great game, or they can come out like we saw them do many times this year and just lay a total egg. So it is scary backing the Raiders in Cincinnati, but this line is just super sketchy.
Yeah, I will say also for playoff games, I did some reading on, some data since 2010, and a lot of the time, I don't have the exact percentage, but a lot of the time, the winner of the game outright, like the spread doesn't end up mattering. If you can pick the winner, the spread wouldn't have mattered. The underdog, they don't cover, they just win outright. The winner, if it's a favorite, covered the spread entirely. I think it was a really high percentage. So the 5.5 line here looks weird, but and I'm going to stay away from it personally. But I think the Bengals could roll them, but I'm too scared to get in front of the Raiders after what they did to me. They're going to make me pay this week.
What they're going to do to you towards the end of the show.
Yeah, right. Something that everyone should keep in mind too is there's a stat that I actually stumbled across last NFL playoffs. So the Bengals and the Raiders met one time already this year. The Bengals won the game. When teams that have played in the regular season meet again in the playoffs, the team that won the first matchup wins the second time. So in the playoffs, about like 68, 69% of the time. I forget the exact number, but it was a pretty staggering advantage for the team that won the first game. So something to keep in mind.
This is why I'm staying away from picking either team, and I'm taking the under. Danny, you're going to take the over. Those are way better bets than actually picking a team. Although, Kevin, that's why you're the degenerate on the show. Either way, let's get to Patriots at Bills, the next game on our list. These two teams played twice. Obviously, they were very different games, which makes this game another tough one to bet on. But we're going to do it anyway. So, Danny, I'm going to start with you on this one. How are you seeing this play out?
Yeah, so let's switch gears here, going from an over to a classic underplay. This is the lowest total on the board for any of the wild card games. It's at 44. I see it may have moved to 43 on some books now. I got it at 44. And look, now I'll change tunes and tell you why unders look really good this weekend, aside from the points I made on the last one. Wild card unders since 2011 hit at a 61% clip. That's a nice edge. You hear Kenny talking about percentages, trying to find an edge, right? We got to find those angles. Home favorites playing to the under 23-12 since that same year, in that 10-year span. That's 65.7%. So Bills -5, 4.5 home favorites here. Look, the next point that I'm going to make is the weather. It is cold as shit in Buffalo. And we remember the last game they played, it was a freaking hurricane on the field. Now, we're not going to quite get that. The winds aren't 50-mile-per-hour gusting, right? Literally, the flagpoles on the goalposts were flying off. But we remember how that game played out in a severely weather-impacted game. Bill Belichick ran the ball 45 times, even when everyone in the stadium knew it was coming, and successfully pulled off, a chess move of a win, basically, in a 14-10 game. So I think that he's going to have to implement a very much similar, ground and pound attack. And I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anyone. Like, everyone knows it's going to happen, and he's going to try to do it anyway. So I see those factors contributing to an under 44 game here. And if you had to ask my pick on the side, look, again, -4.5, 5, those weird lines. But I do think the Bills are just the more talented team. We saw that play out in their last matchup where they got a big revenge win. And even in that game where Bill won and ran the ball 45 times, played an absolute chess game, the Bills had that game in their hands. Stephon Diggs dropped the winning touchdown. So, all that being said, I like the under, and I do like the Bills to beat the Patriots and probably cover. I might bet on that too, but under is my play here.
Kenny, do you like this Bill Belichick chess game?
So as a Pats fan, I love the Pats today. But no, let me backpedal. This is a really tough game for both teams. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bills come out and win this game outright. I do think 4.5, 5 is a lot of points for a division matchup playing the third time around. Bill Belichick in the playoffs, best coach in NFL history. We already know he's going to have a perfect game plan drawn up. This is going to come down to if my boy Josh Allen, who I've been, getting on all season since week 1, if he can come out and perform. And I think it comes down to him, obviously. I will say this, if the Bills do win this game, I think there's a very, very strong chance that they make it to the Super Bowl. I think this is their biggest test in the playoffs. And I think if they can get past this test, I think they should have a pretty smooth way to getting to the Super Bowl. If they match up against the Chiefs, we saw what they did when those two teams played earlier in the season. I already talked about what happens when teams play once or in the regular season, then play again in the playoffs. Big advantage to the team that won the first matchup. So I like the Bills team to actually, compete to get to the Super Bowl this year. So I'm not going to bet this game because you can't bet against your team, but I don't love the Patriots here.
Okay.
I can't believe I have to defend your Pats and your Bill Belichick against you, Kenny, of all people. I didn't expect I'd have to make you convert you as well. You talk about a coach that now for the third time, as you said, we talked about teams that meet once during the season. Then you've got this game we'll talk about a little bit later between the Cowboys and the Niners. Haven't met at all during the season. This will be their first time. But then you've got this one. This one has happened already 2 times, right? And we saw what happened. One time the Bills get it, one time the Patriots get it. But Bill Belichick is the type of guy, he is that weird, beautiful mind, frowny face. And he will not allow his team to lose this game. The Bills have a history, as you know, of disappointing fans and their franchise in the games that matter most, be it all of the Super Bowls they would lose time and time again when I was growing up, be it what happened the last few years. I'm looking at some of these lines right now, and this is just to win the Super Bowl because you brought up Super Bowl. And as we know, what is one of the greatest stories that could happen for the NFL is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers meet the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. That would be the one that everyone talks about, one of those storylines that just feels like it was scripted, right? Opening this season, the Bills were 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. Now they're 7-1 to win the Super Bowl. Hasn't shifted that much. Whereas you look at the Patriots, opening odds for them to win the Super Bowl was 50-1. That's now dropped to 25-1, which still, it's one of the long shots in Wild Card Weekend, but that's dropped in half, which just gives you an indication of how much better that team has progressed. The cold weather, New England's used to cold weather as well. It's Northeast teams battling Northeast teams. If this game were at 3, I could see why it would be difficult to pick. For me, it's a no-brainer. You get 5 points, Patriots, take the Patriots at +5 all day, every day. And I hate to say it.
Kevin, to me, the Patriots have to play a perfect game to win and to cover. Because these are perhaps the 2 best defenses in the league. So, Mac Jones, Serena brought it up, rookie quarterbacks 3-9 in their playoff debuts, and Mac Jones going on the road to do that here. I think that as appealing as the points are, getting a Bill Belichick coach team getting 5 points in a divisional playoff game sounds so appealing, right? I think that he squeezed every bit of juice out of his team to even get here. Even being here is so impressive. So to me, I think that, that they're facing a great defense here that's fantastic against the pass. If they can't run the way they did last time, which was some of the most dominant running we've ever seen in a regular season game, I don't know if they have it in them to get by the Bills here. And I think they make. I agree with Kenny. They actually got a nice little, soft landing pad into the playoffs. They played 4 terrible teams to get in, get your momentum going, get hot. Like if they can get past the Patriots here, they might make a little run. And maybe it's not just the Chiefs in the AFC. Maybe they have something for some teams.
Definitely look for the Patriots to run the ball. Mac Jones over his last 5 starts is 2-3, completing around 60% of his throws with like a 79 passer rating. I think the Bills will win. I do like this this prop bet, first team to score right now on DraftKings. It's at plus 120 for the Patriots. I feel like maybe the Patriots go out and get on the board early, maybe a Ramondre Stevens or someone, but I do like that. But yeah, there's just the Bills are a better team.
This game shouldn't be called the Bills versus the Patriots. It should be called the Bills versus the Bill, because it really is the Buffalo Bills versus the Bill Belichick. That's what the game is.
Straight up.
And if the Patriots figure out a way to win, it's because of Bill Belichick. That's why.
Fun fact for you guys: the 3-9 record for rookie QBs in their playoff debut. The 3 winners: T.J. Yates, random; Russell Wilson, who went on to lose in the next round, but Russell Wilson, pretty damn good quarterback, and John Wolford of the Rams last season. Those are the only 3. So 2 of the guys Serena knows John Wolford. You're a Rams faithful. How random is that?
Oh man, that's wild. I'm gonna tell him that. That's very weird. Okay, let's go
flex.
To another
That's a Serena flex right there. Serena flex. I'm gonna text him that directly. Flex.
Me and John Wolford hang out on occasion. Like, I don't know. We'll just hang out. It's not a big deal.
Okay, no. These guys don't give 2 craps about me because I texted Eric Weddle, why wouldn't you let me break this story that you're coming back? And he goes, oh, dang. That would have been a good idea. And John Wolford, I said, good luck in your game last year when he won that game to get to the Rams to the next round. And he didn't say anything. And then because we were testing all last year, I saw him and I was like, F you didn't even text me back. And he was like, oh my God. So they don't give 2 craps. This is not a flex. This is me just being like, hey, I'm here. And then they
I know we're moving.
Make sure you text Matt Stafford before Monday's game so the Rams get the win again.
Should. And they'll ignore me.
I know we're moving to the next game, but also, Kenny, something I like in this one as well, and you've been talking about this all season, just the double results. I see this as a game that could be a very close, low-scoring game. The odds of this game being tied at the half I find to be a lot stronger than you're getting paid for. So, this one being knotted up maybe at like a 6-6 at the half or something like that, a 3-3, and then one of the teams has to win eventually. I like that double result in this game. I also feel like, and I've been talking about this a lot last week, if you paid any attention to me, you would have made some money on some of these games at this point where teams are stacked appropriately, going to OT, put a little money on that at like a plus 800, a plus 1200. This is one of those games I see being kind of close, especially at the end of the first half. So I very much like that double result. If you're thinking about it, tied at the half, put a little bit on both teams to win at the end.
Kevin, your game props have been on fire. First to score, double result. I might have to tell you, you're crushing them last week.
Everyone just needs to drink tomato juice or that too. Okay, let's get to Eagles, Buccaneers. This is a -8.5 favorite in the Buccaneers. Look, even though I think with Kevin and his paperwork here, he looks like a professor in Vegas. Even though I think the Bucs will have no problem in this game, here's some good info just to back up this Eagles pick, because the Eagles and Bucs in the last 10 games this season have the exact same record. They're 7-3. Points per game, the Eagles are 28.5 points per game. The Bucs, 27.8 points per game. And their defense is pretty much exactly the same, allowing around 20 points per game. That was the last 10 games of the season. The Eagles averaged just over 3.5 yards per carry before contact. It's just obviously the Eagles and their run game are going to go against a Buccaneers defense that should stop them. So let's see, with that little piece of information, how we feel about this game. I will start with Kenny because I believe he believes in Tom Brady like the rest of us.
How could you not?
Right.
So all those stats
Bold
you
call.
just pointed out were great, but the Eagles haven't beat a playoff team this year. Like, they haven't beat one team that's in the playoffs. This is Tom Brady, the GOAT of the NFL, the best quarterback, best player of all time. There's no way that the Bucs don't cover this spread. I like if you throw the Bucs in a teaser, get them down to a pick 'em. That's very nice. Okay. There's no way in hell the Bucs are losing this game. And anyone betting on the Eagles is just throwing money away.
My advice betting on this game is the same as Kenny's. I saw -8.5, but again, like as they say, if you're going to play it, you got to lay it. There's no way I'm taking points with Eagles. I love the Bucs as well in a teaser to -2.5 in a 6-point teaser, even below that. That's the spot for the Bucs here. It's a big spread, so prime teaser spot for a team that is just levels above the one they're playing.
Guys, let's not forget, they got shut out by a Saints team that didn't even have a quarterback. I mean, this is like the same team we're talking about now. Like,
that was the Saints and their good defense.
Exactly.
That's the lack of the quarterback.
Elite defenses in the NFL. So you can't really compare the Eagles defense and the Saints defense. Plus, I don't know if anyone saw what Tom Brady said. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day prior about how screw the Falcons. The Eagles are the one team that like really like keep him up at night. So Eagles beating the Patriots in that Super Bowl, my biggest loss ever I've taken in gambling. Mm-hmm. So I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder for this game, and I think he's going to come out firing on all cylinders.
Kenny got a chip on his shoulder for this game.
Danny's about to get a chip in his mouth. Full of hot peppers.
Captain Underpants, do you like perhaps the under in this game? Jalen Hurts, going back to my newbie theory, the Buccaneers, they're getting back a few key linebackers on their defense. The Eagles won't be able to do much in this game, and the Bucs' lack of weapons and injuries on the offensive side of the ball might cause them to have problems. I don't know. I kind of like the under in this game. Captain Underpants, you're the only person that goes by that name.
Right, yeah. Everyone's like, Danny, your turn to respond. I don't have a strong opinion on the total in this game.
Okay.
Like I said, yeah, if I'm going to play anything, I'm teasing the Bucs. That's my play here.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll want to move on to 49ers Cowboys.
Finally.
Man, this is Kenny, go for it. I just would love to start talking. Let's go.
Yeah. So I know I might piss a lot of people off with this take, but the Cowgirls, they've won 3 playoff games since 2000. Their last playoff win was in 2014 where they beat the Lions. Like, that's not saying much. You can't even count that as a playoff win, the Lions. I absolutely love the 49ers tomorrow. I think you can get them at +3.5 still. I think that's an absolute lock. I'll definitely be sprinkling them on the money line as well. Listen, the Cowgirls, history always repeats itself. I think this team started out super hot, and I've been saying it all year. They're not that good. They're going to regress, and I think they were beating up on a lot of inferior opponents, right? They dominated their division. Their division was absolutely terrible. I don't even know how the Eagles are in the playoffs because they suck. I think this is a perfect spot for the Niners team who really rely on the ground game and running the ball with Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell. The Cowboys defense is great against the pass, but against the run, they're not that great. They're ranked 16th in defensive DVOA against the run. And I think that Shanahan will have a very nice game plan dialed up. And I think we're going to see the Niners come out and dominate this game.
I am excited. This is the game I'm most excited about all weekend. I think a lot of people would agree. I mean, 2 teams we haven't seen play each other. I think there's a lot of action. I was talking in my prop drops and roll earlier about how I like Mitchell to potentially be the running back with the most yards all weekend, which is a +600. You can get him at there. I think Deebo, as I told you, Serena, and we were battling it out. I think Deebo is maybe going to be the star of the postseason. I don't believe that San Francisco's run comes to an end. I try to visualize how I feel, what I will see on TV later this weekend, and what is a more likely sight for me to see. Jerry Jones high-fiving all of his rich Texas oil friends around him, or Jerry Jones shaking his head and angrily scuffling out of the stadium. And that's the visual I'm getting. That's how I do it. The visual I'm getting is an angry Jerry Jones who's upset, and once again, conversation starts happening. And I know it's hard to believe because we've seen Dallas recently put up 50 points, put up 40. We've seen these crazy high highs. But like we were saying, the highs are high and the lows are low. And I think what we saw out of San Francisco and Jimmy G last weekend, I do think, though, even though I agree with Kenny and I like the points on this one, and I also think I like the Niners, I like Jimmy G to still throw maybe a pick or two in this game. He gets a little pick crazy, especially in that, historically, and I think that we could see Jimmy G over 1.5 picks in the game, but I still like the Niners on this one as well.
I love both. I love both the points that both Kenny and Kevin made, and I have to echo their sentiments. I mean, they kind of set it up for you guys and said a lot of the things that I would have said. Look, like Kevin just mentioned, these big 40-point games, 50-point games the Cowboys are putting up. They're a team that the statistics totally mislead you on what's actually happening on the field. You get a punt block, recover TD, a pick six, and it drives these scores up way high. Like, the games are not indicative of the score a lot of the time, and I think that'll mislead people. Kevin, you brought up a great point earlier in the show about the home field disadvantage and the handicap. And classic handicapping rule, right, used to be 3 points for the home team, right? That's just the advantage you get. Well, the Cowboys here, now you're saying they're finding out statistics show that it's worth less than that, and the Cowboys are just +3 home dogs. So if we apply that old logic that the home team gets 3, say this game was in San Fran or on a neutral site, would they be even here? Would I bet San Fran as a pick'em at home if the Cowboys were going there? 1,000% yes. So that's really all I need to answer for myself. I love the +3.5 like Kenny brought up. And in terms of the game dynamic, like the Jimmy G pick, it's really interesting because I think it can work both ways. Trayvon Diggs and that secondary, they've got 1 million interceptions on the year, but they're gamble heavy. They're very opportunistic defense. So you're either going to get a pick or give up an 80-yard touchdown. And I could see either of those things happening. I think it's the wrong style defense against a Shanahan offense that can ground and pound you and then expose you in the play action. And I don't think it's a bad matchup for the Cowboys. So I'll absolutely take the 3.5. And I like the under 51 too.
And
Okay.
I got a little
It's
excited talking about
Kenny.
this game. So I was going to say, I got a little excited talking about this game, and I forgot to mention this. I've said it the past 2 weeks on this show. When teams either lose by more than 17 points or win by more than 17 points, the following week, they very rarely cover the spread. The Cowboys are coming off an absolute beatdown of the Philadelphia Eagles right before the playoffs, where they won by way more than 17 points. I think the spread on the 49ers is as close to a lock as you can get. And for anyone that follows these shows, the last time I told you to hammer the 49ers was when they were underdogs on Monday Night Football against those Rams. And look how that worked out. They came out and smoked the Rams that game. So
something else you'll like if you're going to go with this whole narrative of why you should put your money on the Niners, which is not the public. By the way, I think there is more money on Dallas right now. They just released ratings from football games, and they came up with the overall conclusion that the public in general does not like to see America's team win. In fact, when the Cowboys are winning, people are not happy. So, as you know, believe it or not, NFL is in the it's a weird thing. America's team, yet America doesn't like watching them win.
Did you read that on TMZ, Kevin?
I read it in the back of a cab yesterday in Vegas, actually, but it was written in Sharpie, so it must be real. No, it's facts, and that is something that people do not like. They do not like. And look, NFL wants to get eyeballs. It's eyeballs, so that's what it's about. Just keep in mind, everything is stacking up now for the Niners to win this one. And play the clip back tomorrow around this time, and you'll realize that we are just 4 boxes of geniuses.
The NFL is trying to get eyes, which is why I'm very curious why this Steelers-Chiefs game is the primetime matchup for Sunday, because this seems to be the weirdest game you could possibly put. You have old Big Ben going against the Chiefs. The last time these two teams played, It was a disaster. And now, yes, the Chiefs lost a big offensive weapon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, due to a shoulder injury. But, they still have other guys like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So let's get this game going because this is the primetime game for Sunday night. Danny, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't. You set it up perfect because last time we saw these teams meet, I believe, wasn't it a Sunday night game? The Chiefs absolutely wrecked the Steelers.
Don't get it.
That's right. Yeah. Not so long ago, just a couple weeks ago. And, Big Ben coming into this game saying, we got no shot. So let's just go out there and have some fun, Last hurrah for Big Ben. Minus 13 is huge. So I can't lay that in a playoff game, even though, even after what we witnessed in their last matchup, I just can't bring myself to do that. So I probably won't bet this game. I'll probably just hilariously watch Big Ben fail and end his career and celebrate that.
Yeah. Kenny, do we agree with Danny?
No, so obviously everyone knows I think the NFL is super scripted, very fixed, right? Why would this game be the primetime game for the playoffs, right? This game on paper looks terrible. But again, I think everything is scripted. So there's no way that the Chiefs come out and just beat the Steelers down. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think the Chiefs will ultimately win the game. But 13 points, playoff atmosphere, Big Ben, most likely last game. Or he's already saying they got no chance. Anytime you hear coaches or players talk like that, they're just trying to play into the whole media game and usually catch the other team slipping and sleeping coming into the game. I think the Steelers plus 13, if you can buy it up to 14, depending if it's not too much juice, I think that's a very good bet and probably one of the better bets on the board out of all the playoff games.
Interesting. Kevin?
I already took a prop bet on over 6 TikTok videos from the sideline from Jackson Mahomes. So I feel strong about that one. That's my over prop on that one. Oh no! Oh no! Stop it! Oh, just stop it already! Oh, it must stop immediately.
Yeah.
That is
if you're a grown man and you do this, what someone else is filming you on video, and you're a grown man and you do this to the camera, you don't feel you don't feel embarrassed, you don't feel shame from the people around you.
I think Drake does that pretty often, but he's Drake.
Maybe that'll be our next primetime punishment here. Whichever one of us loses the Monday night game, I guess we'll have to do that.
Has to do a TikTok
on our next live show.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, I also saw that for plus 400, you can get Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. They're listed as injured, but they had full practices all week. You can get them to combine for over 2.5 touchdowns, which I think is interesting because those are Mahomes guys. So if you're going to put some money down, maybe a prop like that would be good for your money. Let's move to a more interesting game. Monday Night Football. Cardinals, Rams. Man, the Rams are risk takers. I got to tell you, shout out to GM Leslie, who's just continuing to figure out this team. No one wants to win the Super Bowl, or at least get there, more than the Rams. They picked up safety Eric Weddle out of retirement. The phone call went as, "Are you fat and out of shape?" And he was like, "Look at me. I work out. I'm a veteran. I'm 37 years old." With Jordan Fuller and Taylor Rapp out, this man is going to join the Rams secondary. How do we feel about Cardinals at Rams for Monday Night Football? Danny, you are smiling way too much.
Well, this is funny because in terms of Eric Weddle, and I guess we'll see it play out. You're all right. Fuller's out. They are a little thin in the secondary, so they may need him to play reps. But if any of you guys are NBA fans, this feels like Udonis Haslem on the Heat, 45-year-old guy that's on the team, on the roster, but he's effectively a player coach. It's more of a leadership role. So that's what I feel like Eric Weddle is here. But if he laces up and goes out there and cracks someone, Jordan Fuller out, you might be right. He might actually have to go and lay the wood on somebody. But in terms of this game, I have a very simple equation on how I'm betting the NFC West from now on, and you don't need to look further than this. Ready? It's just a game of rock, paper, scissors. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are rock. Rock beats scissors, Sean McVay and the Rams. The ground and pound beats the flashy, cool, tricky offense, right? Scissors, Sean McVay, and Kyle Shanahan has won 6 games in a row against Sean McVay. So the stats check out on that. Sean McVay, the scissors, beat the paper, Cliff Kingsbury and the Cardinals. He has a fantastic record against him. And we know why the Cardinals are papers, because as talented as the team is, Cliff Kingsbury coaches them, and they shoot themselves in the foot so much that the talent just comes back to even. So they're flat. And there you go. And Kingsbury beats beats Shanahan. He has a great record against him.
It's a beautiful
so it just
analogy.
goes in that cycle.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Beautiful.
So in this instance,
Can't believe Danny brought out the Rochambeau theory for today's.
straight up. You're in Vegas. They used to have the Rochambeau tournaments over there. You could literally play for millions of dollars.
Still have it on the Fremont Experience, my friend.
Amazing. Fremont. Gotta love it. Well, in this case, scissor beats paper. Sean McVay beats Cliff Kingsbury. They'll cover the number.
Okay.
The Cardinals, as talented as they are, make some of the most boneheaded decisions I've seen all year, and Kingsbury isn't helping. I just don't think they're quite ready to get over the hump, and McVay is ready for revenge after last week. So give me the Rams to cover.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go with the hopscotch theory for my approach. And the hopscotch theory goes as this: 1-2, buckle my shoe, and the Rams are going to win the game. There you go.
I was like, let me hear this well thought out in 1 minute. Kevin's story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a whole monologue. Kevin just ended the conversation.
All right. Kenny, do you have any more analogies to add to this game?
No analogies. I'm not that clever. But I'm going to be honest. I wasn't sure where Danny was going with that, but I do like that one. It's pretty good. This is very similar take like I just said with the Bucs and the Eagles game. If you're betting the Cardinals, you're just throwing money away here. Rams are clearly the better team. On paper, the Rams are the best team in the NFL, and you can't tell me otherwise. Don't at me on that. The Rams coming off a terrible blown game against the 49ers last week, which could have prevented their rival from even making the playoffs. I think Sean McVay is going to have these guys fired up. He owns the Cardinals for his career. It was just a couple weeks ago where I had over $5,000 on the Rams to beat the Cardinals, and they won pretty handily. And I don't see anything changing here. Playoff time, these guys are going to turn up. And I think the Rams, I've said it for a little while now, the Rams are my pick to make it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Currently, Rams. Currently, off the Las Vegas presses, the Rams are 7-1 right now to win the Super Bowl. Started at 20-1 at the beginning. There you go.
Packers favors,
All right.
I imagine.
Does anyone remember what the Rams were before the season started?
So
20-1.
Week. Yeah, week. Like
do you have
early,
that on
they
that
were
paper?
20-1.
Are you just making things up? There you go. Thank you.
I love it. A few weeks before they got Odell, after a game they played that I really liked what I saw, I put in a bet for them to make the Super Bowl, to win the NFC at plus 600. Then they got Odell, then they got Von Miller, and I felt pretty good. I've got a ticket on them, and I've got a ticket on the Packers to win the Super Bowl. So I'm riding the big dogs in the NFC to make it the furthest.
In 2018, when the Rams went to the Super Bowl in the most boring game ever against the Patriots, I recall Cooper Kupp did not play in that game because he was hurt. And it's kind of funny because now heading into the playoffs, it's Robert Woods who is out and Cooper Kupp will pick up the slack. And I know for a fact how upset he was that he was not playing in that game. So maybe there is some sort of like beautiful little storyline bubbling there as well. So, and the Super Bowl is supposed to be played at SoFi Stadium. Either way, let's look at Kevin, with your beautiful pieces of paper. Do you have any papers on there that has your totally exclusive prop bet on it?
Yeah, I do. But first, we should let you know that if you would like to take advantage and win yourself a pretty sweet game day setup, we got the big package right now. These are the details. Of course, you can enter a chance to score the ultimate game day package. That includes a 65-inch TV, which in centimeters is like over 200. That sounds even more impressive if you want to brag about that. $200 gift card to the NFLshop.com. $100 cash exclusive to game day swag. All of it is available. Winner takes all. Look at that. Imagine all your jealous friends just coming over to watch a 200-centimeter TV. That's where it's all about. So you can
That's
enter.
what someone at Best
below,
Buy
course,
told Kevin. In centimeters. It's huge.
Serena, I've been giving my penis measurement in centimeters for years. It's an old trick. It's an old trick.
The ladies love it.
What jokes have we made today?
The ladies love it.
You know,
but how many centimeters,
though?
But how many centimeters?
Yeah, that's right. That's what it's all about. Yeah, speaking of dongs, let's talk about this. The big talk this week was that Viagra is playing a role in the postseason because the temperatures will be so cold in Buffalo that Josh Allen's going to take Viagra and maybe some of the other players, so will be through that game. So my totally exclusive prop bet is, what other pill/NFL player endorsements will we see if this is so successful? Viagra has had millions of dollars of free publicity this week alone. 10-1, you're going to get that endorsement between Tom Brady and Propecia, which, as we know, the guy has had the hair transplant. It could happen. Kenny wants in on that Propecia money as well, I'm sure. 30-1, you're going to get Big Ben Roethlisberger and a fiber supplement, just because, he's at that age. So it's not necessarily a pill. 1,000-1, Aaron Rodgers is going to step up and endorse that new COVID pill by Pfizer. Don't think that's going to happen, but
God.
It could.
That's good.
And as we said earlier, 50-1, the happiest face in all of NFL, Bill Belichick and Prozac will be joining forces because he could be the face. When you think happiness, you think Bill Belichick. Totally exclusive prop. You can't actually put any money on those, but you could bet on the other stuff we're talking about. Let's get to the Q&A, rapid-fire questions. And while we do that, Danny Brasco is going to shovel the hottest chip known to man into his mouth right now. Oh,
we're going to look at the bet slip while he opens it. Danny, don't take a bite yet until we're going to pull up our bet slip first while you open that carefully. Watch your hands. Let's look at our bet slips very quickly. There it is. We are all over the board. I love the under in a lot of these. For some reason, me and Danny are on opposite sides with unders and overs. Anything stand out to you, Kenny or Kevin?
Well, just the last 2 weeks.
Looking at my ticket and it looks like a winner.
Yeah, I don't want to. Let's not pat each other on the back here, but I'm one last 2 weeks on the bet slip. 5 wins, 1 incorrect. Pretty good odds right there, like where I'm at now. Reminder, please, Danny, do not touch your eyes after eating this chip. There it is. Okay. Look at that thing.
Okay.
Guy wants to prove he's...
Tell my family I love them.
Okay. Right. Wow.
Oh, he's going for the big bite right there.
He did. He went
That is a wild card weekend bite right there.
Dude, I texted you yesterday about this. All right, let's keep the camera on him, and we'll get to our first question.
No, don't come in here, boy.
This
my
weekend.
Dog cannot.
Yeah, don't feed that to your dog. Kevin, you had some cool prop bets. You want to share one of your prop bets while we watch Danny start to cry?
I like Danny to pass out in the next 30 seconds. It's my newest favorite prop bet. No, I like the Tom Brady over. Tom Brady. Oh, hold on. Is that right?
Woo! It's hot. It's hot.
Why would you ask? Why would you ask to do this?
Woo!
That's a primetime punishment right there. This guy did not believe in the Raiders' magic last week. They all did. So there you go. Woo!
Oh,
no, look at him
go. Tears. Look. Oh, I'm crying. I'm crying a lot. Oh, I'm crying a lot. Oh my god.
You have to understand.
I heard that the only thing that makes it go away is to take another bite.
That's what I heard too.
That's sicko. You sicko. All right, I'm gonna drink milk.
Captain Underpants is gonna have to change his underpants on the show, which is very exciting for all of us.
He sure is.
My
pores are wide open.
Listen, quickly, while you watch this man fall apart before your very eyes, I do like this prop. My favorite prop this week is Tom Brady over passing yards. He has done historically well against the Eagles passing, and also I just want you to know that the number is lower than his average all season. And keep in mind, there's many other reasons why that Tom Brady will go over the 250. I think it was 236 or 254, whatever. It's going to go over. He'll be over 300 yards. That's all I'm saying. So take Tom Brady over in passing yards today. I like that as a prop.
Okay. By the way, I do recall you wanting to do this. You were just you even said, you were like, you know what? I'm just going to do the hot pepper challenge because I want to feel like what it feels like. And then we all bet against you. We were all like, yeah, Vegas. I guess you picked your primetime challenge.
Why'd you let me do this? I got a little
my God.
Oh, why'd you let me do this?
Danny's whole day is ruined.
Oh, fuck.
That's it. There it goes.
No, it's in my eye a little. Shit.
It's in your eye? That's not good.
Question.
All right, next question.
What's the next question? Next question.
What are your guys' thoughts on a multi-sport parlay? And there it is below. Hold on, I'm trying to read things.
Brian Kelleher in the UFC. That's a lot.
Yep, you
Brian
like the
Kelleher is
UFC?
going to win. I like Kelleher.
Okay.
I like Giga as well. UFC's back, baby. Giga and Kelleher. Great picks. Those are good.
So you like that? Pats plus 10 and the Bengals money line. Does that look like a decent parlay now that we have Danny's input? Kenny, would you like to add your input on this totality of this parlay?
I'm just enjoying Danny. It feels so much better not having the chip in my mouth.
I want to cry. I'm crying. Like real tears.
Danny looks like he just lost a UFC fight.
Bengals money line looks like a safe bet. Pats plus 10.
Yeah. No, I said Danny looks like he just lost a UFC fight right now.
By the way,
Danny,
you're
I heard
watching
it's
Danny
better
lose.
if you pour the milk on your head. Just pour it all over you, brother.
You're watching.
It feels great.
Watching Danny lose a bet right now. You guys can win a 65-inch TV, smart TV. Just go to the link.
Game Day NFL. Watch the show. It's
Just
pretty good.
Go here. We're doing the ultimate big game giveaway. Go to thegameday.com. You can win a 65-inch 4K smart TV. We're giving away cash prizes. We're giving away a $200 gift card to the NFL shop.com. So while we're watching losers here, you can be a winner. Just go to thegameday.com. We're going back to Danny now.
I actually feel a lot better, Kenny. I swear.
Oh.
I know. I bet you do. I told you, dude.
Oh.
That's a beautiful thing.
Let's go to the next question.
Well,
parlay. Yay. Okay, Raiders plus 14.5 over the 41.5 at minus 120. 3 question marks. Kenny, I'm going to go to you because you're the only one making sense these days.
Yeah, looking at that, I like that. I guess that's like a teaser they threw together. It looks like a pretty safe bet.
The whole thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, 41.5 is compared to where you're beating the line by 7 points from where it is right now, 48.5. And the Raiders getting over 2 touchdowns. It's tough because, like I said, when we talked about this game, there is a scenario where I could see the Bengals just coming out and absolutely smoking the Raiders today. I don't think that will happen. I think the Raiders should keep it close. So 14.5. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Okay. Next question. So the Bills don't need to play a perfect game to win or cover ? This is just a question. Kevin, you look confused, and I'm confused.
Well, listen, first of all, I don't know how we're even having a discussion about anything. We got a grown-ass man pouring 2% milk on his face right now. Clearly, this guy's lactose tolerant.
It's whole milk.
Whole milk. All right, whatever. I mean, this guy's obviously having a rough run on the season. Doesn't even spring for the organic, but okay. So anyway, let's talk about it. I think that the Bills don't need to play a perfect game. I think we learned earlier, and Kenny made this point very clear and said it was the perfect game. But I still feel that listen, I've given my reason why I think the Patriots will win. I like the points. I was reading a crazy stat, too, that just talked about underdogs in general and that the points have played out. I think 13 of 17 games have been take the points. And I know that may sound like a sucker play, but that Bills Army, they want this so badly. It's almost like someone who's desperate, who's going out and just needs to get laid so desperately. There's a good chance they're going to go home alone. So I feel very strongly about the Patriots in this one, no matter what type of game the Bills play. It's Bill over the Bills. That's my take on today.
There's so many props that Danny has pulled out of his apartment, like not like game props, but like the milk, the tissue, the chip.
Out. Get out. Out of here, boy.
The dog.
Man, I do not want. He cannot experience this. Get out. Get out of my room. Get out.
Okay. Next question. Can this hit? Chase over 5.5 receiving yards. Jacobs over 61.5 rushing yards. And Higgins over 68.5 receiving yards. Oh, there's still more. There's so many. Mixon over, you gave us your entire slate. Mixon over 20.5 receiving yards. And Ozuma over 26.5 receiving yards. You're just giving the entire Bengals team a lot of yards. Can all of these things hit?
I mean, I kind of like Joe Burrow over passing yards, so he's got to throw the ball to somebody, right?
He does.
Over the middle.
That's a lot of people to throw to. I like Mixon running all over this team again.
I think the Jamar Chase one I like that one, the over 5.5 receptions. I think it's plus. It's actually plus money. I think it's like plus 105 or 102 on FanDuel
like
right now. T. Higgins, he can ball it out. 68.5 though. I don't know. He pretty much sent us like a lottery ticket and said, "Can this hit?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything can hit. I mean, Kenny, this is one of those tickets you see people post, right, where they put $50 on it, and if it all hits, maybe they make a couple thousand.
Yeah.
The one here I find the most questionable is the Jacobs over 61.5. But keep in mind, it's gonna be a cold weather game, and it's 27 is the high today. There, they think it's going to affect the Raiders more than it's going to affect the Bengals, but look, yeah, why not? What the hell? At this point, we're not here to tell you not to gamble. We're here to tell you to gamble. All right, just do it.
We are telling you
somewhat responsibly, right?
Final question. Danny's going to be hurting later from that chip once it passes through. That's a statement.
It won't go away. It just won't go. Like
it won't. It will go away. You'll feel it
every time I take an inhale. It's like fire is going back into my mouth. I can't breathe.
Well,
Serena,
Danny,
both know
thoughts and prayers.
Prayers
with you today, and thoughts and prayers for. Let's all take a moment of silence for Danny's butthole, which is going to be on fire in about 45 minutes, huh?
Yeah, cheers to that.
That was special. That was really special. Thank you, guys.
That was just for you, Danny.
They should do that before all nationally televised games.
Yeah, no, you've got
to. Danny, Serena, there's a slots tournament happening downstairs right now, so I'm going to go because this is how I do things in Vegas. I actually have to get plays in. I only got another 20 minutes to get to the sportsbook here and get in some action. So I am going to.
Oh, we're on Kevin's time. Excuse me. So sorry.
I gotta triple this. I gotta triple this before we get out of here today, guys. Come on, you know how that goes.
Well, I mean, Danny's got to take a shit at some point too. So let's all wrap up here. Kenny, appreciate you. Danny, appreciate you. Feel better. Send some nice Instagrams to Danny. He's gonna need it. And don't bother Kenny because he's gonna fight you on Instagram. Let's be real. That's it. We're wrapping up. Kevin, we did it. We did another pre-gaming.
This was the most intoxicated I've been during any of our live shows, and I frankly think it didn't hurt the quality very much at all, which just gives you a sense of where the bar has been set. If you're just joining us, one more time, we should reiterate, you have a shot to get yourself a pretty sweet hookup before the big game. Stop watching your stuff on a 27-inch TV in your kitchen, you loser. Step it up and get a 65-incher Omni Series 4K Smart TV. Like Serena said, don't go dumb TV with me. Go smart TV. $200 gift card, NFLshop.com. $100 cash. Exclusive game day swag. That's what it's all about right there. Get that swag. And, oh, boy.
Did you eat a chip? Did you just eat a chip?
I think I don't know what that is, but that could be last night. That could be the bacon, egg, and cheese croissant I ate at 3 in the morning. I'm not sure.
Live it up. Bacon, egg, and cheese. Drink it up. And let it all pass. That's it for us at Pre-Gaming. Enjoy today's games, tomorrow games, and Monday night. Win some money. Cheers to you.